You're not going to believe what's sitting in front of the 49ers right now. So do me a favor. Get comfortable, smash that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Because the updates today look small if you skim, but they're screaming about trust, health, and how the Niners are lining up for January. One quiet depth chart move just lit up the backfield. One ankle might decide the entire Sunday night script. And one defensive captain is suddenly hovering over this postseason like a plot twist nobody saw coming. Faithful, are you feeling confident? Or are you bracing for that wait, what moment? Because let's start with the move that didn't come with a press conference, but absolutely came with a message. Isaac Guerendo was a healthy scratch against the Colts. No injury designation. Nothing. Yet rookie Jordan James was active for the first time all season, and Guerendo was the one left out. That's not random. That's the staff telling you who they trust right now, when every rep, every snap, every mistake can change your entire playoff path. And it's wild when you remember where Guerendo was a year ago. In 2024, he flashed 420 rushing yards on 84 carries, 4 touchdowns, plus 152 receiving yards. He looked like the type of back who could give you juice, speed, burst, and enough hands to matter on third down. Coming into 2025, it felt logical that he'd be Christian McCaffrey's primary backup, especially after the team traded Jordan Mason. But the plan clearly shifted behind the scenes. Injuries piled up in the room, the 49ers traded for Brian Robinson, and here we are. McCaffrey and Robinson are the only backs on the roster who have taken offensive snaps this season. That sounds fine, until you're watching the run game feel a little too grindy at times and you're thinking, why not give a different look? Now add the other clue. Guerendo's special teams role faded too. He opened the year returning kicks alongside Sky Moore, and then Robinson took over. When your offensive snaps are 0 and your return value gets replaced, the writing gets loud without anybody saying a word. Maybe it's protection issues. Maybe it's assignments. Maybe it's ball security. Maybe it's just that the coaches don't see the same ceiling anymore. But if Jordan James is now ahead of him, it sure looks like Guerendo is staring at an off-season reset, because this is exactly how it starts in the NFL. And speaking of Jordan James, remember, he's a 5th-round pick out of Oregon, and he didn't even get on the field early because of a finger injury in camp. Yet the moment he's available, he's active, and Guerendo isn't. James ran for 1,267 yards in his final college season. He's the kind of runner who can hit a crease and make you pay. And John Lynch has already said the team believed James could be McCaffrey's backup when they drafted him. That's the part that hits like a hammer. This wasn't just a week-to-week thing. Somewhere along the line, San Francisco changed how they viewed Guerendo. So let me ask you, is this the right call, or are the Niners shelving a potential spark while the run game has felt a little too blah at times? And if you're in the they're done with Guerendo camp, what do you think the reason really is? Trust, fit, or something we're not seeing? Keep that thought, because the next update isn't about RB3, it's about a pillar. Sunday night against the Chicago Bears is massive for the NFC picture. And the problem is, San Francisco might be without George Kittle. Kittle hurt his ankle in Week 16 against the Colts. Missed practice this week, and that puts his status in real doubt. And we all know it. Losing Kittle isn't just losing a target. It's losing the tone of the offense, the intimidation factor, the guy who turns a normal snap into a highlight because he plays like he's angry at the universe. Yes, the numbers matter. 599 receiving yards, 52 catches, 7 touchdowns in just 10 games after missing time from an injury in Week 1. And he's coming off his best game of the season, 7 grabs, 115 yards, and a touchdown against Indy, his first 100-yard day this year. But the bigger hit might be what he does without the ball, the blocking, the edges, the way he makes the run game feel possible. If the rushing attack has been porous, taking Kittle out of the lineup is like removing the stabilizer wheels from a bike. Suddenly everything feels shakier, especially in short yardage, especially in the red zone, especially when the defense starts daring you to be physical. If he can't go, the spotlight swings to Jake Tongs and Luke Farrell. Tongs already played the unlikely hero early in the season, Week 1 against Seattle, and on the year he's at 233 yards on 27 catches with 4 touchdowns. He faded once Kittle came back, which is normal, until you suddenly need him in prime time again. Farrell becomes huge as a blocker, because somebody has to try to patch together what Kittle gives you snap after snap. And when the defense knows you're missing your tone setter, They test you. They squeeze windows. They crash edges. They make you prove you can still win your matchups. And here's the tension. If Kittle is truly a game-time decision, your whole plan splits in two. One version of the offense with Kittle changing the geometry of the field, and one version where you have to be cleaner, smarter, and more efficient because the margin gets thinner. Faithful, what do you trust more right now? Kittle's toughness or the offense's ability to win with Plan B? Drop your answer, because I promise you that debate is going to be loud all week. Now zoom out, because this matchup is bigger than one injury. Sunday night is about seeding, leverage, and the chance to keep the road out of the picture. The Niners are chasing the scenario where they don't have to leave Levi's Stadium the rest of the season. And that's why every detail feels amplified. John Lynch went on KNBR and said Kittle will be a true game-time call. And while the team isn't looking ahead, the stakes are obvious. Brock Purdy has been on a heater, and that has to continue for the rest of this run. But the Bears aren't showing up to be background noise. There are three things that can swing this game fast, and if you blink, the vibe can turn. First, Chicago's deep passing attack. Caleb Williams has taken a real leap in 2025, and he's most dangerous when the play breaks down. Out of structure, on the move, turning chaos into explosives. The Bears don't live on quick throws the way some teams do, about 61% short quick, near the bottom of the league, but they lead the NFL in deep throw rate at 15.1%. Translation: if you don't keep Williams in the pocket, he'll hunt chunk plays over your head, and suddenly you're playing catch-up in a game that starts feeling uncomfortable fast. And that's where the 49ers' concern shows up. The pressure rate is 22.8%, near the bottom of the NFL. So the key becomes discipline, contain, rush lanes, make him win in structure instead of letting him freelance. Because once a quarterback like that starts believing, he drags the whole team with him. And you don't want to give Chicago that energy early. Second, stop the run so play action doesn't take over. Chicago is top 10 in EPA per rush, and their run success unlocks a heavy play action game, 33.7%, second in the league, with a high under center rate, 47.7%. The good news is, San Francisco has defended play action well, top 10 by EPA, and has been strong against the run with an EPA around 0.06. But none of that matters if tackling slips and the Bears start living in second and short. Because second and short is where they can call anything, and that's where that play action bite hurts the most. Third, late game magic. Chicago has been winning close games all year, ranking well situationally and staying efficient late. But the Niners have been even better. Second in late game success rate, 54.8%, and second in red zone EPA, 0.18. This might come down to one stop, 1 third and long, 1 red zone snap. Do you finish drives with touchdowns, or do you settle? Do you get the sack, or do you let Williams slip out and turn it into a backbreaker? That's the kind of moment that decides playoff seeding. And while we're all locked on Sunday night, there's one more storyline that could change the ceiling of this entire postseason. Fred Warner suffered a dislocated and fractured right ankle in Week 6, and early expectations were that he wouldn't return until next year. Now, the 49ers aren't ruling out a comeback later in the playoffs. Warner himself hinted at it on a podcast, basically saying, never say never. And Lynch, again on KNBR, said Warner's rehab is trending better than expected. He emphasized the team is focused on the Bears, not projecting an NFC championship game or Super Bowl path, but he also made it clear Warner is attacking rehab and making progress well ahead of the original timeline. Lynch talked about objective benchmarks, hit these marks, you can get there, and how Warner keeps pushing people to re-examine what's possible. That's the kind of thing that doesn't just matter medically. It matters emotionally. It matters in the locker room. It tells everyone, we're not letting up. This is why the final 2 games matter so much. 2 wins can clinch the NFC West, secure home field advantage, and get a first-round bye. That extra time isn't just rest, it's recovery runway. It helps Kittle, it helps the roster's wear. And if you're even dreaming about a Warner return, it's the difference between no chance and maybe. And maybe is powerful when you're chasing a ring. So here's where I land, faithful. 1 quiet running back scratch that screams shifting trust. 1 superstar tight end ankle that could rewrite the game plan. 1 Sunday night matchup that will test discipline, pass rush, and red zone execution. And 1 defensive captain who refuses to let the door close. Now I need you in the comments. What's the biggest swing factor for this playoff run? Kittle's availability, the defense finding pressure, or the possibility of Fred Warner being closer than anyone expected? If you think the Guerrero decision is the front office telling us something bigger, say it. Hit like, subscribe, and ride with the Niner gang, because the next 2 weeks are going to tell us exactly who this team is.